The BYOT faithful have spoken and they want to see this Polapa. So, let's get started. In my last two videos, I showed the entire process of building this amazing deck. But in this video, I'm going to show you the entire process on how to build one amazing Tiki Hut, or in this case, a Polapa made by Tiki Tops. This is a DIY-friendly kit system, which is extremely nice because all these pieces come out to the appropriate size, already made up for you, as well as cutouts and fastening locations that are pre-indicated right on the lumber. And of course, our first step of this installation is to actually lay out and figure out exactly where we want this Polapa to be located. There are 4 large posts to be installed within the system, and each post gets an extremely beefy steel bracket.
Goes through pretty quick.
After we get the cross-dimensional measurement accounted for with this entire system, we start pre-drilling all of our holes for our steel bracketry. As you can see from pre-drilling those holes, we didn't hit any structural lumber underneath our decking, which is why we need to get to some blocking. We are in hurricane country, so we need to make sure that we have some really strong, beefy blocking underneath this deck, which is what Nick and Christy are going to discuss now.
So you want to make sure that you always do good blocking underneath the deck, whether it's an existing deck or like what we're doing and building a deck. So we want to make sure that we've got substantial support underneath for our brackets up above. So we've pre-drilled up above the deck, and now we know exactly where to put our blocking. That way everything stays nice and secure and nothing ever blows away or falls off the deck.
You need a hammer?
Does that work?
I worked alongside these two for this entire project, and it's an understatement to say the fact that they have character and they are characters. So just enjoy the show and know that I do have links to their channels as well as everyone else involved with this project in the description box below. Now that our blocking is in, we can start securing our brackets to the blocking underneath the deck. We install 4 6-inch long lag screws into the blocking, and then once those are positioned and installed, we place our post right on top. The slit in our wood is already pre-cut and the holes are pre-drilled, and therefore we just have to position them into the bracket and start fastening them down appropriately. You do want to double check levelness as you're doing this because you want to guarantee that you have a nice vertical straight structure before you get to the next level. Squaring up this structure is extremely important, which is why that diagonal measurement from post to post to post to post is key to make sure that it's completely even on both sides. There's a large perimeter wood run that attaches all 4 posts together, and this has to be pre-assembled with even longer 8-inch long lag screws. In order to make this more manageable with 2 people, we actually just place 2 of the logs on top, and then after those are installed, we lift up the other 2 beams and install the entire system together using those same 8-inch long lag screws. Now those are going into the beam, but it's also going into the post as well. So each corner post is getting at least 3, if not 4, 8-inch long lag screws. These lag screws are quite long, and in order to make sure that they're all the way in properly, you're going to have a beefy impact driver, so please keep that in mind while you're installing these. And this wood, even though it's surprisingly light, it's extremely durable because it's eucalyptus wood, and this product naturally resists rot, fungus, decay, and so forth, which is perfect for an exterior Polapa. Once Nick and Christy install the 2 cross braces located at every single post, it's time for the roof. The roof line starts out in a V-shaped pattern that's placed on both sides, and then a smaller 4-foot long section in the very middle that connects all 4 corners together. And as you can see, each piece is actually labeled so you know exactly where each piece needs to go. No guessing here. At these corner locations, we have to start using 12-inch long lag screws, which is designed to go through the roof, the beam, and the post so it connects the entire system together. As we install the rest of the timber bracing along the roofline, keep in mind that this structure is extremely structurally sound because it is rated for hurricane winds. Extremely important, especially in Florida, and especially on this project because we literally had a hurricane come through as we were installing, which you'll see momentarily. Each roof brace is spaced out evenly, and this is actually important because it's not only there for structurability, but it's also there for visual elements because you're going to be able to see the entire internal structure of this unit once it's fully assembled. The only wood that actually needs to be cut on this entire project is this small thinner piece that's going to be more of a cross bracing for the very end of our roof line. These pieces are shipped along because there might be some slight adjustments needed once the installation process of the Polapa actually begins. The main reason that we're installing this piece is because it's actually a supportive piece for our palms that we'll be installing right after this is installed. As for sizing, keep in mind that this specific unit is a 6x10, but they also have 10x10 units readily available, so I will be providing a link for this product in the description box below if you are interested. And there might be a discount code, so if there is, I'll make sure and provide it below. For this project, we're using Viva Palm, which is a synthetic palm material. Not only is it extremely durable for hurricane winds, but it's fire resistant, which is a very nice added bonus. And after we have a little bit of fun with it, it's time to install. This palm system comes with a unique aluminum U-channel, which we actually slide our palms into place and overlap them a couple inches. Then place it to the side and do the next row. And as you can imagine, this really does increase the installation process because we're not individually installing each one of these. It's a nice solid row, one after the other after the other. We're fastening stainless steel screws into our aluminum U-channel that also bolts directly into our eucalyptus wood framing roof. The first row gets beefed up with multiple layers of palms because that front edge is going to be seen the most and will get the most wear and tear.
Their proprietary thatch system is actually really easy to install. All you have to have is an impact driver and a tape measure, and you're pretty much good to go. You do need to get a grinder just to cut off any excess so that it's wrapped really easily. But other than that, this system is gold.
As you can see from this time lapse, there are multiple layers applied to that very front edge because we need to make sure it's beefed up to take the brunt of a hurricane windstorm. And why do I say that? Because it's getting extremely windy at this very moment. I'm truly quite astonished by the fact that we had such an insane timeline for this project, but we also had to deal with a hurricane come through at the same exact time. And luckily for us, we weren't hit nearly as hard as some areas in Florida, so we got right back to work the very next day. As we start to install the palms on all four sides of our roof line, it's extremely straightforward and it's more of a layering process than anything else. We just need to make sure that we're diligent about installing the palms straight across our roof line and not at a weird diagonal to keep it consistent all the way up, and of course cutting off any of the excess palm or channel on the sides of each roof line. With any construction project, safety has to be a huge factor, and keep that in mind on this project, especially if you're at the very edge of a deck. This was definitely difficult to figure out how we were going to be in a safe area, but also be able to install it properly. So please keep that in mind on your project and make sure you work safe. As I say that to this very moment, I quickly realize that Nick is on the very ridge of our Polapa, taking pictures or video of himself, I'm sure, but also doing a little bit of work. The majority of the palms that we're installing are called out as field palms, but there are hip/ridge palms that are going to go on the very ridges on all four corners as well as the very top hip section, as you can see right here. These palms are very vital to the overall look because it makes a nice cohesive look over this entire roof structure. But this is more than just a Polapa, it is a bar as well, and that's where Jess from Crow Creek Design comes in. She is the epoxy queen, and she specifically came out to this project to do the countertop and bar top for our bar area. As we all were working on the deck, the kitchen, the Polapa, and so forth, she spent days making and fabricating these beautiful countertops, extremely detailed, and brings a new level of beauty when it comes to beach top, bar top. The only problem is that epoxy takes a while to dry, and we don't have a lot of time on this project. So once we got to the point where our epoxy was dry and able to get it to the job site, we already started installing our cabinetry. The The cabinetry that we used on this project is from Weather Strong Outdoor Cabinetry, and it's a perfect complement to this project because it's not only beautiful, but it's also extremely durable because it's made of a composite material. The system comes with decorative panels which can be then cut to the specific size requirements of your project. We install gables to properly support the bar top, and while that's being taken care of, Omar also installs water lines and electrical lines for all of our appliances. Now that our cabinetry and our appliances are fully installed, we can then install our countertops and our backsplash after that. In order to avoid some pesky hole penetrations in our backsplash, we're just using some 5-min epoxy, which is easily mixed up and applied very easily and quickly. By the end of our last and final workday, the only thing left to install was the bar top, and that was the very last piece of this entire project, and this was quite an exciting moment because with this installed, we are now 100% complete with this amazing Polapa. And I certainly know that this video was not my normal, very detail-oriented tutorial because I wasn't the one filming, but I would love to hear what you all thought about it and if you like this specific style compared to my other style, or it's just a nice media area between the two. But in any case, this is still one beautiful, sexy beast of a Polapa. Oh yeah,